that bull just ripped the whole world out of the ground. Dave just pulled the boat. He got out of the boat and pulled this boat for 200 yards above his waist in this water to get me that moose. My dream is to hunt for a living and spend every day that I can in the wild. So I live my adventures through my camera to share them with you. I've never been the poster child, and I wasn't the valedictorian. I'm just an everyday farm boy, but I get some of the greatest hunting footage you'll ever see. My name is Cody Robbins, and I live to hunt. How exciting was that? How exciting was that? For the two gentlemen in the front seat, this was just another 55-minute flight into a backcountry lake. To my fiancée Kelsey, it was a second experience in a floatplane, but white-knuckled just as much as the first. To me, it was hopefully the plane ride in for the hunt for my very first Alaskan Yukon moose with bow and arrow. I had taken this so-called flight 4 times in the past, only to return the opposite direction days later, flooded with disappointment. We were hunting with Terry and Ruth Wilkinson's Caesar Lake Outfitters, located in the southeastern corner of the Yukon Territory. The date was September 10th, and within a week or so, the moose would be heavy in rut. Lots of Canadian kids grow up dreaming about winning the Stanley Cup. This exact hunt is what I dreamt about. Mr. Dave O'Farrell is the gentleman that organized this hunt. Every summer, Dave runs a fishing camp out at Grizzly Creek Lodge, the same camp we're going to be hunting moose out of. The main lodge and the surrounding cabins were without a doubt the most beautiful accommodations I have ever seen, let alone in the backcountry like this. Half an hour into our boat ride up the lake on the first day, and we've seen a beautiful moose. It's on a drop tine. Oh, this is so cool. Too bad he wouldn't have been a little bigger. car just before we came around the corner. His head was all dripping wet. This is awesome.
Live to Hunt with Cody Robbins is brought to you by Vortex, the force of optics. Prophet River Firearms, your source for the finest firearms. 10-Point Crossbow Technologies, there is no substitute. And by Sugar Creek Taxidermy, award-winning design.
Cruising lakes and river systems, Dave and Kelsey and I set out on our journey to find a big old bull in a land that was more beautiful than life itself. Prime time, no wind. Our call is carrying forever. And crickets. Nothing but crickets. Still being a tad early for the rut, we used our time to cover ground, find fresh sign, and do our homework locating resident moose so we could be better prepared when things started rocking in the days to come. That's the dying minutes of day 2. And not a moose yet. But that's why it's a 12-day hunt. I don't think they're running yet. But who knows? They could be running just over the next hill and we think they're not. Spinning our tires a bit, waiting for the moose to begin their fall ritual, Dave brought his fly rod along to catch dinner. This is the one regret I have from this trip, and that's not taking the time to learn this beautiful art from such a master. My grandfather was a fly fishing guide in Banff National Park for years, but died before he ever had the chance to teach me. Maybe I'll just have to book a fishing trip with Dave someday soon, so he can give me lessons. We also fished out on the main lake, but not traditional fly fishing techniques. Here you're gonna see the reason I wanna start a second show, Live to Fish with Kelsey Claypool.
Get your net.
And if he goes to run, Kelsey, move your fingers because it'll wrap your knuckles, that reel will.
Oh,
And
get
you gotta
the
hold
net.
your hand. Yeah. Get the net.
Oh, it's big.
Is it a horse?
It's big.
I do the same thing about moose, so that's cool. Kels, what'd you catch?
A monster.
Tell me about it.
He's a monster in my eyes.
Maybe instead of laughing, I should be ever so grateful that things appear to be much bigger to her than they really are.
Yeah, he's fine. He probably had as much fun as you did.
Fresh shit. Sometimes I wish we were shit hunters. We're not having any luck doing what we traditionally do to hunt moose. And they're here. We walk in on points along creeks, and everything reeks like a big old bull moose, but they're not calling. No matter how hard we tried, we couldn't change the fact that Mother Nature decides when things happen in the wild, and us breaking our backs wasn't going to change a thing until it was time.
This portion of Live to Hunt is brought to you by Rosetown Mainline Motors, the king of trucks.
Hey guys, welcome to Live to Hunt's Tips and Times. I'm your host, Kelsey Robbins. This week we're featuring a set of whitetail sheds off of a buck we call Swoop. One of Live to Hunt's biggest whitetail hunting gurus is Mr. Randy Norrie, and he's the lucky one who picked up this set of sheds. Now this buck has been living in front of Randy's cameras for the last 4 years, and if you can even believe it, he has yet to go after him. Now we know exactly what this set of sheds scores, and that's up to you guys to figure out. So go to buckscore.com today and submit your best guess to Swoop's total inches of antler. And here's Cody on more on the story of this incredible buck and some helpful hints for you guys to score bucks at home.
This whitetail that Randy calls Swoop is already a giant buck. Any hunter would be thrilled with him. But with Randy knowing his age and the potential this buck has, given the opportunity to grow, he knows that Swoop could turn into the deer of his lifetime. The problem arises when a person is scouting. You'll often get photos of a new buck that you have no history with. In a situation like this, I think it's very important to pay attention to the buck's body just as much as the antlers to guess his age. Look at facial features and body structure to determine if the buck is young with a bright future or already reached his prime. Once you've predicted his age, you can punch it into buck score and the program will help you calculate the rest. So the next time a young buck walks by your stand, you'll know to save him for the years to come. With 3 days left in the early morning of day 9, we come around a bend in the river to moose pandemonium. Once we turned the boat off, there were grunts coming from everywhere. The rut had begun. Dave got a glimpse of a big bull back in the heavy timber. He wouldn't come to us, so we decided to go to him. By the time we reached the top of the hill, the forest had gone silent, but there was no reason to hang our heads. At least we knew the rut had arrived. Every corner we came around, we would bump into more, with bulls lovesick following cows. I couldn't help but wonder which bend in the river would reveal the big one. When? That bull just ripped the whole world out of the ground. Made a rut hole. Kelsey finally said, "Take the camera, I want to look at it myself." Which, I don't blame her. That's awesome. We waited 2 hours for the fog to lift, just in time to witness the sight I had been waiting for the whole trip. A big mature bull, alone, looking for a cow. With the current of the river pulling us away, and the bull already a bit spooked, Dave crawled out of the boat into the bone-chilling water to get us closer to shore, to hopefully call the bull in for a shot. There he goes. Ready? Pull me farther. I think I drove him. What do you even say now? Dave, I'll buy you new nuts. I drove him, you drove him. I drove him. He's down. Dave. I can't tell you how bad I wanted that. Dave just pulled the boat. He got out of the boat and pulled this boat for 200 yards above his waist in this water to get me that moose. Dave, thank you. Thank you. That was an absolutely excellent shot. 20 yards, Dave.
You got complete path
20 yards. Oh, he's cool. He's got like barnacles on his fronts. Oh, that is so cool, Dave.
Yeah, it's a nice move. One shot.
That's cool. Well, I'm sure you've heard me whine and complain in the front of the boat, so you know how long I've been trying to get a moose with my bow. Words cannot explain to you how appreciative I am.
Well, it was fun having you guys, Cody. You guys worked for him.
And Dave's out there in water above his waist, where he was just telling us you get hypothermia in that water easy this time of year. And I'm like, Dave, deeper, go deeper. Dave pulls the boat deeper. We come right out into the wide open in that triangle, and I shoot. That's a pretty moose.
Yeah, it is a pretty good.
He's got a wave in his paddle over here.
Yep.
He's got some kind of gnarled points on his brow over there on the left. That is awesome. We booked this hunt early in the spring to come out here in September on a moose rut hunt with Terry and Ruth Wilkinson of Cedar Lake Outfitters. And I've been dreaming about this trip all summer long. And every day we got closer, I'd get less and less sleep waiting for this. And it was everything I ever hoped it would be, Dave. I want to thank you right from the very bottom of my heart. I've had so much fun with you guys.
Having you, Cody.
It's funny. We had been busting our humps for days trying to call in a bull. And now that we had ours, they were everywhere. On the way back to camp, this beautiful bull was standing on the shoreline, watching us go by. So we decided to pull in and admire him for a bit. I'd already shot my bull a few hours before, and this bull already had me dreaming of the day I would be back in the Yukon to do it all again.
Live to Hunt with Cody Robbins is brought to you by Mossy Oak. It's not a passion, it's an obsession. Stealth Cam. It's all about the hunt. Rage and Bowtech. Primos and by Squincher.
To book a hunting adventure with Cedar Lake Outfitters, call 867-536-2174 or go to caesarlake.com. To order the new Here Be Kings Mule Deer DVD and other merchandise, go to livetohunt.com.
Special thanks go out to Wild Elk Federation and 77 Signs. Next week's previews brought to you by Vortex, the force of optics.
Next week, we're headed out with the Grona sisters for whitetails here in Saskatchewan. Younger sister Rebecca is looking for the big one, while Monica is starting out for her very first big game animal. This is an adventure full of cold weather, big smiles, hard luck, and big old rutting bucks that you don't want to miss. See you next week.